My name is Ibm Portilla. I'm an IT architect with IBM. I'm currently working on a group that we provide cloud solutions for our customers, both internal and external. Any IBMers in the room? Excellent. Thank you very much for attending my talk. Before I can present, IBM lawyers make me say that everything I say here is my opinion and not of IBM or WayBlazer or Neo4j. But before I start, I usually start with a story. So today my story is a question. What would you do with Watson?
Technology has helped us go further, go faster, go to the moon, solve problems previous generations couldn't imagine. But can technology think? Watson can. IBM Watson is a technology unlike any that's come before. Because rather than force humans to think like a computer, Watson interacts with humans on human terms. Watson can read and understand natural language, like the tweets, texts, articles, studies, and reports that make up as much as 80% of the data in the world. A simple internet search can't do that. When asked a question, Watson generates a hypothesis and comes up with both a response and a level of confidence. And then Watson shows you the steps it took to get to that response. In a way, Watson is reasoning. You don't program Watson, you work with Watson. And through your interactions with it, it learns, just like we do. Every experience you give it makes it smarter and faster. But in addition to learning, Watson can also teach. A new generation of doctors are helping Watson learn the language of medicine. In turn, Watson is helping teach doctors by providing possible treatment options. Watson is learning the language of finance to help investment advisors recommend the best way to plan for retirement. The IBM Watson Engagement Advisor can react to a caller's questions and help operators find the right answers faster. The IBM Watson Discovery Advisor helps researchers uncover patterns that are hiding in mountains of data and then share these new insights with colleagues. With Watson Analytics, you can ask Watson a question, and Watson can show you what the data means in a way that's easy for anyone to understand and share. The IBM Watson Developers Cloud offers software vendors and developers the technology and tools they need to take advantage of Watson's cognitive power. Accessible on the cloud, anytime. Watson needs you. This generation of problem solvers is going to learn much faster with Watson, and Watson, in turn, will learn much faster with us. Developers will solve new problems. Business leaders will ask bigger questions. And together, we'll do things generations before couldn't dream of. What will you do with Watson?
So what will you do with Watson? What do we remember from the video? Watson understands human language, he reasons, and he learns as it gets used. So today I have a very simple agenda. I want to tell you about cognitive computing. I'm going to tell you about the travel POC that we did with WayBlazer, and then I go into details some of the advantages that we have using the IBM hardware Power8. Let's start with cognitive computing. So in IBM, we define 3 eras of computing. The first era, we call it tabulating system era. And this is around the 1900s. In the US, we were trying to do a census, and it was taking us 10 years to do the census. And we wanted to do it every 10 years. So the US government approached IBM, and we used the Hollerith machine, and we started counting things. So one of the first things IBM did was weights in clocks. We were counting things. Very few people know that. And we call this the tabulating era. In the 1950s, we moved into programmable computer. If this happened, do this. And here we have a picture of the System 360. It was a huge bet for the company. And it was successful. In February 14, 2011, at 8 p.m. Mountain Time, we announced on television Watson. It was a game of Jeopardy. I don't know if shown here in the UK. It's a US game. When you have an answer, you're looking for a question. And we call this era cognitive computing, systems that think. But most people tell me computers are going to replace humans. And I say, no, we're just going to use them. We're going to outsource our thinking, the things that we're not good at, like remembering things or doing calculations. And we humans, we're good at poetry, imagination, abstraction. So there is a complementary effort between computing systems and humans. So it's a partnership to create better results. So to define cognitive computer, you have to think of three major concepts. Cognitive computer understands human language, unlike artificial languages like Java and C++. Computers can understand English or Spanish. Initially, Watson understood text. So in the game of Jeopardy, the questions were fed through an email to the system. Now Watson understands audio. Like think of your phones. You know, most of you have Siri or Google Now or Amazon Alexa. So this interface, the new generations are expecting this understanding. And more recently, we're teaching Watson to understand videos. So now it can look at a video and tell me what is on the video. The second characteristics of cognitive computing is reason. So they come up with hypotheses. And these hypotheses are backed by evidence. And they understand the text. For instance, for the game of Jeopardy, Watson read 200 million pages of information. This is as many books there are in the US Library of Congress. And he had all this information in memory ready to answer that question. And finally, cognitive computing systems learn. As you start using them, they get better. So one of the things is cognitive computer is probabilistic. So they're not good for a question like 2 times 2. But they're good like, what is the weather going to be tomorrow? See the difference? Now, what are we doing with Watson recently? We have certain areas. We have working, like I said, on video analysis, and we're working with other health institutes and universities to detect cancer. So we have helping the radiologists, pointing to areas of interest. We're doing a project, for instance, in Mexico to provide free mammograph for people with low income. And it's going to help save lives. We have another area that we call embodied cognition, robots. And we're having these robots with a Japanese company called SoftBank, and we're deploying it to banks, to hotels, to many industries. And we're also teaching Watson more languages. In fact, the Watson team that works in language translation is here in the UK. And Moore's law is running out of steam. Very soon, we'll not be able to duplicate the amount of processors by half of the cost because we're getting into the quantum effects. The transistors are too close, so you're starting to notice some properties degradation. So we're working on something called synapse. We're 3D stacking the CPUs, and we're mimicking that, the human brain. So this is one of the areas that we're working with cognitive. And one of the interesting things, and this is something that I'm working in several projects, is embodied cognition, or robots. So I would like to show you another video.
Hello, my name is Newton.
I run the Watson Labs in Austin, Texas. One of my team members sent me a picture of the robot, and I said, buy 4. We bought 4, and since then we've had them in the labs, and they've been just really fun to work with. The robot allows us to have a very human connection to Watson. Watson and most technologies in the industry are hard to explain. But when you have a robot and you show the robot doing something, it's a connection that's made. And it's just, that in itself is very powerful, and we take advantage of that. So Watson is in fact working as the brain for the robots. The speech technologies, the question answering components, the vision components, these are all Watson services and the platform that we're using to enable Watson to have a very cognitive and real-life experience.
And the way you interact with these robots is they have speakers and microphones. So the way I characterize it is we talk to the robots and they talk back and watch them helps them understand what was said to them and helps them figure out what to say.
Are you excited, Naomi?
Yes, very excited.
Everybody who looks at the robots loves them and smiles. And it creates an interesting interaction that doesn't exist with any other system. So for us, it's a goldmine of opportunity to create a cognitive experience with Watson.
I am the future of cognitive computing.
Isn't that great? So imagine how many industries would like to have this type of embodied cognition. Hotels, restaurants, retail stores, when you have these machines that you can talk to. So for us, it's about a journey. We start our customers in this cognitive journey to transform the industries. And we tie both the cognitive computing with the analytics component. Okay? So now let me get to my second topic on content tech travel. How many of you traveled to this conference? So they say that it's going to be a $10 trillion industry in a few years. In an average, a consumer, a traveler, visit 20 websites to plan their travel. So this is one of my recent trips. I went to Silicon Valley. And I have to check out the hotel, where is it located at, reviews about a picture of the room, the type of car I'm going to get, even where I'm going to sit on the plane, where I'm going to eat, what do they say about the location, they take a taxi to the place. So about 20 sites I look at when I do this. So there's a huge opportunity in the travel and hospitality system to use cognitive. So we're currently working with several chains worldwide. This is one in Japan. And on this one, you can actually check in with a robot. So I encourage you to look at that website later. But you check in with a robot, and then you have one at your room. And if you forgot something, like I forgot my toothpaste, you'll send a text message, and the robot will bring you to the room, knock on your door, and you have your toothpaste. It's amazing. And they also have the Now robots in SoftBank. So IBM recently announced this partnership with a large hotel, worldwide hotel, with a robot called Connie. And Connie was named after the founder of Hilton Hotels, Conrad. And there is a video there that I would like to show.
Hi, Connie.
How may I help you? I am Hilton's newest concierge in training, thanks to a pilot project between Hilton and IBM.
Hospitality is a really interesting use case for Watson because inevitably you have people who need information. They need to find a restaurant, they need to find a park, they need to get directions.
We operate in a very crowded industry, so innovation is key. Innovation has to help solve problems operationally. Innovation has to help our customers. It's an opportunity to really delight customers in ways that they don't expect.
We're really excited about being able to build out the cognitive learning capabilities with IBM and Watson at the same time as we have Connie interacting with our guests.
It's much more natural. It's something that people can identify with. It's much more comfortable, and something that allows them to have a more insightful interaction, actually.
It allows us to really serve people, understand what they're looking for, sense their emotion, sense their level of urgency.
To be able to take robotics and artificial intelligence and introduce it to the hotel business as a way of helping us operate more efficiently, helping us to delight our customers, it's a big dream.
What excites me about this partnership is the courage of Hilton to try something new, the courage of WayBlazer to build on the technology. So that courage is going to push us to continue to advance Connie. And that's also going to allow the humans who work in those hotels to go beyond that to help people even further by having Connie do the basic things.
Goodbye. I hope to be able to help you with Hilton Hotels again soon.
So it's not great opportunity to have embodied cognition at your company. Be able to have this assistance. How many of you would you interact with the robot and not with a human? Raise your hand. Millennials. they are not used to talking to people. They want to talk to their cell phones all day. So they will like that. You know, some people like the human touch, you know, have a nice day, you know, how are you doing, where are you from? But some customers are used to this technology. So we have a great opportunity in the marketplace with robotics. So they mentioned WayBlazer. So WayBlazer is an IBM business partner, founded in 2014. This is one of the key directors, the CEO. Terry Jones was the founder of Travelocity in kayak. So this person has a lot of experience with the travel industry. And then another co-founder was Manu Saxena. He was the former general manager of IBM Watson. And currently, the CEO is Philippe Laboy. So here's another video that you can watch later, but pretty much they specialize in the travel industry with a cognitive application. And if you want to follow along, this is the URL. We can do it live here. And we're going to ask some questions about hotels. May I? Thank you. So here I'm at the hotel. Oops. Not projecting, so let me see. Okay. Well, it's not projecting white screen. Pause that. And then project my screen. You see that? Yeah. So here, this is a live website, so never do a live demo. The question is, I'm looking for a hotel in Spain. Anybody from Spain here? Okay, so you'll tell me if this is true or not. So I type the question, and it comes back with those hotels. Okay, so difference of Yelp and other websites is that it's building a profile of your user interactions. Remember, cognitive understands natural language, reasons, come out with this hypothesis backed by evidence, and learns. As you interact with the site, it gets better, gives you better results. So it comes back with those hotels. So I'm looking, I like golf. Let's see. In Spain, for a beach hotel, because I like swimming, and play golf. So again, if you want to do it with me, so it comes back with all these sites, and I say beach, and the pictures are showing me they're actually on the beach, but I don't see golf in the first two. So if I click on it, it actually shows me the pictures of the golf course, plus the recommendations. So people like me that travel, have the same profile, have recommended this hotel. So here's where we're starting to see the recommendation engine that you're very familiar with, graph databases. Okay? So please check it out. It's more here to show you, but because of time, I have to run here through this presentation. So I go back to presentation mode. It's not wonderful when technology works. So here I'm asking for some healthy food based on my profile. This is the initial POC that we did for another hotel in Austin, Texas. And this is the type of personality, we call it digital personas. This is how it builds a profile about the type of traveler you are. Are you a family traveler? Are you a business and expense account that you don't care about how much the meal is? Are you guys going out on a party or girls' night out? So it builds that profile. And here is another website that they did for the city of Austin, and the same technology. And then you can start to see this concept. So when you ask a question, it generates those entities. And based on those entities, it can start notes and relationships, just like Emma was telling us this morning. So the magic of this application is graph databases. And the vendor, the company, is Neo4j. So here we have a little bit of piece of the graph database that they built for WayBlazer. And this is, I'm from Boulder, Colorado. This is a mall strip called Pearl Street. And we're talking about good Mexican food. Anybody likes Mexican food? So I'm going to ask the question, best tacos in town. And I pick up two restaurants there, right? So notice the path. But the tool, oops, also not showing that. OK. The tool shows me the path with my romantic profile. So pick the two restaurants and also pick the romantic node. So it's going to transverse to Taco, Colorado, based on my profile. So we're enhancing the graph database results with the cognitive computing part, or learning, machine learning, supervised learning, your preferences. And that's the difference. So I would like to show you another video with this, so you can visualize it better.
Hi, Connie. I understand you can help me plan some activities while I'm staying here.
Hi, Liz. Welcome to the Savoy. How can I help you?
What are some dining options in the hotel?
Gordon Ramsay's Savoy Grill presents a classic British grill menu with a French touch, while Simpson's in the Strand and Knight's Bar remain steadfastly at the top of every Londoner's list for the best roast dinner in the city and a sense of British tradition. Dine informally in Casper's Seafood Bar and Grill, where an imaginative, ever-changing menu of sustainable fresh fare is on offer from morning until night.
Is there a fitness center here?
Beauty and Fitness at the Savoy is a private facility for health, relaxation and well-being, and can be enjoyed by hotel guests and members. The centerpiece is the 10-meter swimming pool, situated in its own atrium and filled with natural light. State-of-the-art fitness equipment includes cardiovascular machines by Technogym and free weights.
I need to print some documents tonight. Is there a business center in the hotel?
The business center, which is available 24 hours a day, is located on the second floor of the Savoy and can be accessed with your guest room key.
Thanks, Connie.
So we saw a demo of the natural language conversation, the understanding piece, the reasoning, and the machine learning, because the machine knows my friend's Liz's profile. So this is the type of applications that you can build with graph databases and cognitive computing. So that was my second topic of the day. Now let's talk about the databases in Power8. Why speed matters. This is a typical web application today, and our customers are expecting this type of response time, 100 milliseconds. Millennials cannot wait for the machine to paint the screens. It used to be 3 to 7 seconds. Now they want everything now. So in 100 milliseconds, we're taking 50 just to go back and forth to the website. That leaves us another 50 to do all the operation, all the logic, what's happening on the site. And out of those 50, we want the database to respond in 1 millisecond. So imagine the type of architecture that you need to support this business requirement. So being IBM, we have a solution for you. So we have a new system called Power8, that Power architecture that is actually being open source, open power. Google is working with us and some other companies. And we have 4 times the number of threads per CPU. We have 4 times the bandwidth for memory. So in live memory, we can go to 16 terabytes, which is what Watson and TV use. But with something called CAPI Flash, we can use your flash storage as memory. And the computer will not know the difference. Is it real memory or is it storage? And we have 4 times the cache. So some of the companies that we're working with are Neo4j, Cassandra, and Red Eyes. Okay? So I have a handout when you leave the class. Please stop by, and there are a couple of flyers talk about this. And there's a URL. You can also look it online. This is the partnership that we have for Neo4j. Thank you very much for inviting us. And you want to see results. So we started version 2. We took it to 3, and it improved tremendously. But the real improvement came when we talked to Neo4j consultants. when we look at the cipher, it was 4 times as fast. So not always throwing more money at the problem fixes the problem. Before you spend millions of dollars, look at your code. Okay? So some lessons learned: trust your, understand cognitive, use the type of architecture for your problem, do iterations, agile programming, and trust your business partner. Before I leave, I wanted to show you this site that we have. It's called Bluemix. It's a platform as a service. Anybody can use it. We have tons of APIs and services there. Somebody described it to me as 2 people in Starbucks having the same computing power that a large corporation like IBM. So go and check it out. And one of the services that we have in the Watson portfolio is called Personality Insights API. So with this API, we take your texts, your chats, your voice, and we analyze you. We know who you are. And for instance, for a service desk, we will pair you with somebody that will prevent that you will leave our company, prevent churn. So there's a website there, and if you put your Twitter handle, it will tell you what celebrity you will look like. And the same type of personality. Okay? Some resources, some of the books that I'm reading right now. We'll post the slides on the conference website and the URLs to Watson Developer Cloud. Paco, 1 minute for question?